I know AI is a really sexy word to attach with anything right now. Now, when all this came, as if data got some kind of wings, excitement about AI is one thing. The reality is not as exciting. Every morning you wake up, you have a new model.
Yeah.
Then you're confused as someone who is an outsider. Many people believe I don't like because this is going to take my job. We have a concept called human in the loop. So every Actnable product has a component called human in the loop. We always deliver tables as an output. We also deliver deck and other for dashboard. What if you were a tracker for 3 years and your client says, how to access this 3 years data? And sometimes I require to go back like last year data to compare the trends. I developed a bot.
Okay.
I call it Dia, and he'll say, hey Dia, can you just run me this kind of trust tabulation?
So which means that as a researcher, if I really wanted to understand the trend of 2021 versus 2024, I can just simply ask the question.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Collaborative Canvas, where we explore groundbreaking ideas, innovations, and stories that are shaping the world of the business and research. I am Ankesh Saxena, and in today's episode, we will be diving a little deeper into the transformational aspect of the AI, and who would better answer these questions than Dharmendra Jain, a visionary leader, founder, innovator, and the CEO of Actnable AI. With over 2 decades of expertise in market research, Dharmendra has been at the forefront of the AI-driven insights, revolutionizing how business extract and leverage data for the real-world decisions. We'll explore how AI and Gen AIs are reshaping the landscape of the market research, the challenges and the opportunities that presents, and what the future truly holds for the brands and business looking to stay ahead. And if you're a researcher, analytic, or just fascinated by the intersection of the AI and the business, this episode is for you. Welcome, Dharmendra.
Thank you, Ankit.
So, the first and the foremost, we have been talking about AI by large, which has transformed the market research with length and breadth. Whichever conference I go, people are only talking about AI. How do you see that AI is actually shaping the world of market research or data collection so far?
Well, as you rightly said, AI is reshaping the market research, transforming the market. So when people say AI is new concept and how it is reshaping the market research, I find a little bit like as if it is completely new aspect. I don't think it is complete new. I know AI is a really sexy word to attach with anything right now, but if you look at really market research landscape, and you go back 15, 20 years back, we are the native data people, right? We collect the data, we process the data, we extract insights. And if you understand the AI, how does AI work? It is the core of that, or the backside of the AI is nothing but the statistical models, right? So if you look at a market research analytics side, which was quite hot during the days of, let's say, 2008 onward, 9. Analytics was a huge buzzword. Everybody was talking about predictive modeling was there. Now, all these algorithms has gone, in other words, it has gotten some kind of boost by the advancement happened the computing side, the storage side, and the algorithm power, the coding side, which all came together and became AI. Now, when all this came, as if data got some kind of wings. So for market research, it was there, but the name was not that sexy. You see, we were calling it analysis. But that time, it was like forecasting, trend prediction. We were calling it so like a simple thing. It was never kind of felt.
I think the roots remains the same. The name has changed.
So, as I said, it has gotten some kind of speed, which used to be a sophisticated analysis. Now it is like a mainstream thing, thanks to all the advancement happened on the tech side. Now AI is suddenly even gone its own journey, right? So if you recall around 2014, 13 thereabout, big data was like a huge buzzword. Everybody, like the way we are talking AI right now, that time everybody was talking big data, you know. But that time, this AI was, it's kind of lurking in it was machine learning. Now, when that has emerged as like a kind of thing, and the same time machine learning, which used to be a little bit advanced of what algorithms which we talked about, cluster analysis and all that. Now, when these two come together, the sudden, like you can see the peak in terms of it is forming a shape, like started to coming in a sense that, wow, it's possible. All this, for example, all those sophisticated analysis, now it suddenly started appearing as if it is possible. Anybody can do it. Why? Because those same time series forecasting, ARIMA modeling, for example, for trend AI, they call trend AI, or cluster analysis, which you used to do for segmentation in market research. Suddenly it has become something which is like, they call it when you go to AI, there are two kind of things. One is how you classify the data and how you do predict. The classification is nothing but what we used to do in clustering. So you see what I'm trying to say. Now it has, in a way, it is good because the AI is taken a popularity route and everybody's talking about it, and market research found its own like a moment. Now, well, I know it before, and now I can do even more in terms of application.
Yeah, I think AI has beautified the way we used to see the data.
Correct.
And as again, the roots are still the same. What brings you to creating Actnable AI, considering that you've been sitting on this for almost like 2 decades? You've seen how qualification or qualitative research being done, how online research being done. So what made you, get inspirations to create Actnable AI?
So I was talking about big data 2014. Then AI started taking shape. Then all of a sudden, around 2019, there is a wave was conversational AI. If you remember, people used to have like smart speaker at home, and you're talking with that. And that time, I did a paper called DIA, Digital Insight Assistant. It was a paper I wrote for conference, SMR conference, and which was all about talking with your data. It was before ChatGPT, which came 2023. So, and that was my own thinking, because when I was at Kantar and doing data processing, a researcher used to come to me and then ask, can you run this cross-tabulation extra analysis? And I used to get annoyed because I've already delivered you full-fledged table. Why you're asking for this and that? So, that taught me, why can't AI do this kind of conversation when researcher wants to, try something new in terms of cross-tabulation or analysis? So I did a kind of POC, you can say, for my paper, where I developed a bot.
Okay.
I called it DIA, Digital Insights, whereby it will be installed on a researcher's laptop, and you'll say, hey, DIA, can you just run me this kind of cross-tabulation? And it was obviously speech recognition, and that the whole command will convert into the kind of code behind it in a Python code, and then it will generate the cross-tabulation from the data, which is nothing but the survey data of that whatever study that person is doing, and it bring the output in a conversational style. So instead of you reading the figures on the table, right?
So I'm imagining something like, I have a data processor and I'm telling him, I'm giving him some instructions.
Right.
That, this is what the data that I wanted to have a look.
Yeah.
And he's doing it. So you did this through DIA.
Exactly. So now that was the aha moment for me. Because then I got like, wow, this is fascinating, man. And I was getting into the AI side because, as I said, I come from data processing side. I did analytics. And when I was at Kantar, I was doing how to use AI for data quality. Now, because data quality in the world of market research is still a big challenge.
Yes.
So I had to come up with something which AI can really help. So I came up with few set of algorithms to check the quality of data. And all these things was happening around 1920, that time. And all of a sudden, then you got 2023 generative AI, ChatGPT, OpenAI moment, which has changed how we look at the AI.
Yeah.
Now, before that, it was more of algorithm, AI, ML, deep learning. But this generative AI has changed the entire sort of what do you call the way it was looking. It was almost suddenly, wow, great breakthrough. So it can generate new things also. Now, all these things made me think, wow, it is time for me to jump off and let us do something on my own. And that was the birth of Actnable AI. The mission is to really bring AI, generative AI solution for extracting insights from different kind of data sources, helping research agencies, not necessarily the big ones, but I mean, of course, yes, but really about solving problems for medium and small agencies who wants to adopt tech, but they don't have that kind of, sort of resources to go for full-fledged for tech. So how actively I can play a role there to bridge this gap for serious researchers to bring tech into it.
Got it.
Yeah.
I know a bit of solutions that your company offers. Can we just go at a glimpse of it?
So when I decided time for me to jump off and let me go off, then I played with an idea called insight triangulation. Why insight triangulation? Because if you look at classic way of looking at data, it is always either numbers or text, right? But thanks to AI, because that has given us the power to analyze even beyond numbers and text. Now you can do image processing, you can do video analytics, you can do the location, all these different type of data sources, isn't it? Now, when you want to extract insight or you want to bring holistic insight, you must look at all sort of data sources, even the websites or the customer reviews, wherever, whatever information is there in different shape and form, you should bring all together. Insight triangulation is nothing but the concept of bringing all different data sources together to work towards one common objective or purpose of the study to make a holistic insight. It's like a 360-degree insight. So that was the original idea. Then, while on the journey, when I started Actnable AI, I thought it's time to really also speed up something in terms of low-hanging fruits or something which is required by agencies on a day-to-day basis. So today, Actnable AI has got a platform, is a SaaS platform, cloud-based. One can subscribe. It has got 5 different solutions that are powered by AI. First one is qualitative AI. We call it Qual AI, which is an end-to-end platform for qualitative research, right from conducting your own FGDs, IDIs, and then you can do recordings, and you can do transcription, analysis, you can do standard, and as well as chat with your own data. So we introduce a bot into that as well. The second one is about Neuro AI, which is all about creative testing. So if you look at the creative testing, is a huge sort of segment within the research where people do test, the commercials, the concept, the product. And the challenge has been in the past that this thing always considered a little bit on the expensive solutions. So I come from Nairobi, Kenya, and my focus is Africa. There, these things are very expensive, come across as very expensive solutions. So one of the things which I'm driving is how to make these solutions affordable. So we tied up with a Netherlands-based company called Face Reader Online, and they brought the eye tracking and facial expression tech, and we merged together with the Actnable AI platform. So that's Neuro AI for testing any sort of creative. The third one is about open-ends analysis. Now, that's what I was saying, like a low-hanging one in terms of where even every single research agency deal with open-ends processing, right? Because every survey has open-ends question. I remember we used to wait for 2 days extra for open-ends to come, and I want to close that time, or rather reduce that turnaround time. So here in that platform, you can upload a file, a verbatim file, and you can get in like few minutes, you can get your coding done, and you can get your, in terms of key themes, topics, analysis. Just really quick one. And the fourth one is about chat with data. Now, chat with data, as I said, remember I talked about DIA, which is a bot for a researcher. The same thing inspired me, and thanks to generative AI. Now you can talk with your own data. In a way, is a new delivery format. If we know that in market research industry, we always deliver tables as an output, right? We also like deliver deck and dashboard, another form of delivery. What if let's say, for example, you are doing a tracker for 3 years, right? And your client says, how to access this 3 years data, and the kind of, sometimes I require to go back like last year data to compare the trends.
That's where they can chat with the...
Correct. So my idea is to really, how can I load the all historical data to AI and provide a bot as an interface?
So which means that as a researcher, if I really wanted to understand the trend of 2021 versus 2024, I can just simply ask the question.
Yeah, simple, like human kind of conversation. Isn't it much easier? But
Yeah.
that's how our client or our researcher think or ask query, right? They don't think tabulation or big chart or number.
I think not just researcher, anybody. I mean,
Yeah,
even if I was looking at the match yesterday between India and New Zealand, and then I wanted to look at the data, as in the stats, and then I wanted to compare that data from, the India's performance over the years, and I simply have to just Google that out. I think with the chat, with the bot, the DIA mechanism, it would be easier because that data is already stored, and I would just only say, no, give me the numbers for this year versus this year.
Absolutely. And you are sure that you are talking with your data. It's not a generic available secondary data, right?
Of course.
That's one of the concern. We will get to that
Yeah.
point about the other side of thing, which we need to also talk when we talk about AI. But it is, I think most of the people right now wants to make sure that my data is safe, right? I'm talking about. So this chat with data ensures that you are only talking with your own proprietary data. It doesn't bring general things from available on the internet. And the last one is language solution, which is about simple translation, questionnaire translation, or any kind of translation, transcription.
That's also based on AI.
Yeah,
Automatic
all
translations.
5 are based
All
on AI solutions, because that's the whole point.
So considering that, you're actually asking the data from the client to upload it onto your servers, how much privacy challenge and the concerns that come from the client are being handled by Actnable AI in this case?
So we provide options to client, They want to use their own secured data server space. That is not the problem. We can deploy our application there. Or if they want us to provide, we used Microsoft Azure kind of cloud infrastructure, which is, everybody knows that, compliant with all world international compliancy. So we have secured server space, which is encrypted and which is also dedicated to that particular client. And we go with GDPR or all the international data privacy sort of compliance. We abide by that. So very clear on that one, how it is. And whatever AI we are also using is also the enterprise grade. So we get that kind of security on that way.
Yeah, I think the data is definitely precious. When you are actually talking about that, it is precious for the people who have created it. And it is in terms of, panel companies, because they prefer the PI to be their own asset and they cannot leak it out or, can go beyond that. And then it is precious for the clients as well, considering that they're getting the responses from those respondents, which is their own proprietary.
Yes.
And then the privacy challenges, the role of, any AI company becomes very evident, because they don't want it to get this leaked out and, get the brand spoiled.
Absolutely, absolutely. All data, when we talk about AI, it is one thing which first comes to our mind about privacy, safety, security, right? And how we can ensure that every client is ensuring that is in place. If you're an international company, if you're working with international client, the one thing which you need to make sure first is your tech stack is fully compliant by the such like compliance, data privacy controls and all that. So that is what we're doing.
One quick question that reminds me that we are at a very early stage of implementation of the AI. At a very early. And while I'm running my own company, Actnable AI, I realize every day there's some challenge which comes to us. Considering how we evolved with AI, what are the gaps, what are those challenges that we can overcome, and every day is a new day for us when you work in an evolution phase. And AI, again, going back a few years from here, big data was something, a buzzword at this point of time, and everybody involved themselves with big data. And now, again, the roots remains the same. We have the data there, and we are implementing generative AI. We are talking about AI overall. What kind of a challenges do you, as of now, see, and what do you foresee, though, new challenges implementing AI into these 5 solutions?
Great question. So there are many challenges, to be honest. Excitement about AI is one thing. We all get excited, right? That's how tech is. A new shiny toy, everybody talking about, you want to talk and you want to say, wow, this can do this, that. But the reality is not as exciting because, as you said, it is evolving so fast. Every morning you wake up, you have a new model launched by whether this one or that one, right? It is shaking the world. Then you're confused as someone who is an outsider, right? If you are an AI enthusiast like me, I get, wow, this is fantastic. But for a normal person, the person who is like doing his own job, what does make a difference whether it is DeepSeek or OpenAI or about this? Of course, it is exciting for us. So I think the other side, which normally people do not, there's a lot of fear, anxiety, and scared. People are scared. I don't know how this AI is going to, what it's going to bring to me. Is it going to bring to something which is more favorable or unfavorable? Like many people believe I don't like because this is going to take my job. I'm not sure we will need so many people around us after some time. And I don't know whether it will, as you said, privacy. It will take my data or do whatever. Deepfakes, we all know about the videos and the image floating around. These are the real concern, right? And we cannot ignore this. While we are super excited about the power of AI, but we cannot ignore these things for everyone, for humanity. So I think that there are challenges about not knowing what it exactly. There are so many other things. Some people talk about, as I said, AI as an AI. Somebody say generative AI. Somebody will say, oh, agentic AI nowadays, right? Everybody's jumping on this thing. For a person who is, let's say, researcher, who is really interested in doing a proper research, for that person, all these are buzzword, is a noise. And I think one of the challenges over here is not able to understand all these jargons. Second is, there's no systematic awareness or knowledge about AI. And the third one, how I should really use this power in my own benefit. So I think the first and foremost challenge is lack of knowledge, lack of awareness, a good systematic awareness. So one thing which also now Actnable AI is pushing, because when I go and talk about Actnable AI, people are not following what I'm saying entirely in entirety, then it is important to educate them. So we started an initiative recently. We are launching some AI workshop for business leaders. So we can give them, simple sort of rundown in terms of what all these AI keywords, jargon, systematics, types of AI, so that they can understand and alleviate their fear and start seeing the value of it. Because we all convinced this is going to be something which is going to revolutionize the whole thing, right? It's a transformative, right? And everybody should get benefit out of it. And you can only get benefit once you are clear about what it is.
Exactly.
So I think our job as industry folks to really create that opportunity for every people to know what exactly it is. So
I think that's one education element that you just mentioned. I was talking to in one of my podcasts with Patrick Comer, the CEO of Cent, and then there's another CEO from Xdot. His name is Ikhlaq Bari, and now you all three have said the same thing. You don't have to fear from AI. Of course, AI might take your job if you're not affluent, if you're not ready with AI, and if you're really scared, then learn for it and learn from it. Then you would become more, powerful in terms of, saving your job. If you're like just doing your 9 to 5 and you're not upgrading yourself in new skills which are coming on the show, then you're losing the, momentum.
Absolutely. That goes with anything, anything which is new. Always, it seems very scary at first, right?
But I think that's commendable, Dharmendra. You've been teaching people about this because even at Actnable AI, I mean, for me, being understanding, what AI is and then understood your own 5 solutions, it becomes, as a researcher, I can say that, my work is easier because of those 5 solutions. But I think people who are not very keen in learning things up or they have not learned and they really wanted to learn, these solutions will also help them understand, what basic skills do you need?
I'll give you one example. Okay. So I'm working with one of my Actnable AI clients who comes from one of the Central African country. And as you know, in Africa is so diverse,
Yes.
so many languages, and most of the real conversations happening in local languages. Now, if I'm talking about AI, but that AI is not as impactful as you would see in developed places like America or India, wherever, because it is not in their language, right? So if I, as someone who is driving this mission, want to make AI relevant to everyone, I must produce solutions in the local languages. So then when this client came and said, you know what, we have got FGDs in local languages, in Lingala. Lingala is one of the languages from DRC. Yeah. But I could not offer the same solution which I'm offering for someone in, let's say, Nigeria in English or Swahili in Kenya. Okay. So I started thinking how Actnable AI now should train LLM models in African languages. So we are now building some capabilities.
I think that's where your translation AI would work.
Translation, transcription, because if you want to offer Qual AI to people like him,
I can easily relate all the solutions together as you speak because yes, I mean, if I can translate the qualitative surveys, there's tons of open ends that you can actually do the coding part after transcribing it. Yeah, so, I mean, I think that's good. The other thing that you mentioned is, other than training the people on AI, knowledge impartment is definitely one. What other challenge you see that person should be, ready with when they're, looking AI as a solution for their own organization?
So I think there is one aspect of something called proper AI strategy. Now, when we say AI strategy, sounds like a big word, but I think irrespective of the size of the business, I think the owner or the leaders of the organization should look at AI as a great sort of opportunity, and they should have a real good sort of thoughts about how they should roll it out, right? Why I said strategy? Because jumping on one kind of tool or solution, for example, translation, transcription, is one thing. But it does not bring the real power of something called AI, right? So you need to look at what's your vision as for your organization and what are the needs. So I talk about 2 things. One is, if you're looking AI as in something which is like a transformative power, now you as an individual business need to look at where you want this benefit. On the operation side or the innovation side. Operations more means how I can make my life easier. Translation is a great example, or coding is another good example. Instead of my people sitting and doing 3 days of coding, manual coding, can I make their life easier? Can I offer them something more value-driven work? So that could be one internal focus strategy when we talk about AI. Then I have been selling, let's say, the outside side of it, like selling side of it, the offer side of it. Traditional market research agencies, they've been doing surveys, that's typical surveys. Their offer have not been revised for many. Now, AI brings you an opportunity to innovate your offerings. How can you bring new solutions, new way of doing things, right? Let's say, for example, image processing I talked about, right? I talked about video analytics. Can you offer something like that? Research, but now for different kind of data sources. So AI can help you as a researcher to offer something even new. Neuro AI is another example. So what I'm trying to say, as a business, I think one has to first of all understand where you want to deploy it. Secondly, what people or the organizations need to do is to really find a way to bring it, like adoption. You have to create awareness among your staff, employees. You need to upskill them, because there's a lot of resistance also. So a leader from any organization would really quickly agree that I want, or DJ, I want this and that, and he said, let's roll it out. But the guy who is the owner, who is the one who deals with this day to day, he has a resistance because he thinks, what will happen to my own job? So I think it is important to educate and reassure them that this is not to replace anything. We have a concept called human in the loop. So every Actnable product has a component called human in the loop. All AI work will be reviewed by a human.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because we know that AI has another sort of notorious side of it.
There's always a brighter side. There's always a darker side. And, we are the fathers of AI.
Yeah.
So we can't leave our sons like that. But of course, I remember the conversation that I have been having with leaders around the globe. One thing is for sure that, AI would still be there. Jobs will still be there. And as you rightly mentioned, jobs will only be there for the people who wanted to skill themselves up. If they're not, then of course they've been out of the system. But more than that, awareness is definitely something, people should be looking at it. As an Actnable AI CEO, as any AI organization, if they're not creating awareness, not just because of their product, but the awareness that people should be, buying that.
Client, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then your own employee. I mean, if they are actually resistant and, holding themselves back of not implementing an easy solution which can ease their life out, considering that they always think, I will lose my job if this happens, or I will lose somebody else's job. I think the best part is to, educate them. When you make them aware, then educate them, and then, make the entire life easier for everybody. Because at the end of the day, the beautiful concept that you've just implemented is that the touch of the human factor should be there. Because when they are going to validate it, they'll always be there. So I think that skill is also required.
Absolutely. Because remember, don't forget, we are in the business of understanding people, right?
Exactly.
Market research is nothing but is about people. You can bring any sort of technology, but you cannot replace that thing. And I don't think AI will ever replace that aspect of human. And therefore, it is very, very important to bring this in the whole thing and augment and, human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And that was indeed an incredible discussion. I would really like to thank Dharmendra for sharing, such deep insights on how AI is changing the game in the market research world. And it's clear that Actnable AI is leading the way in transforming raw data into actionable intelligence, helping businesses make smarter, faster, and more informed decisions. And if this conversation sparked new ideas for you, just don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Collaborative Canvas. And do let us know in your comments, how do you see AI shaping the future of the market research or any other industry you belong to? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, be sure to follow Dharmendra Jain and Actnable AI to stay updated on the latest innovation in the AI-driven insights. And you already heard about the 5 solutions they're bringing onto the table. But until next time, keep collaborating, keep innovating, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Collaborative Canvas. Thank you so much, Dharmendra.
Thank you very much, Ankesh.